the fun things about business because people tend to overthink too many things. And we just want to introduce people to the world of wealth, the world of good living and enjoyment. That's what we do. Welcome from the comfort of your homes, from work, wherever you are, whether you are in the car. Sunday Supper Biz Talk Live is all about just enjoying. If at all you have people that you feel can benefit from this today, please reach out to them. We are also live on Facebook. So today's topic, which will be pioneered by Gracious herself, the master of loans, the master of money and mortgages. She's the queen of making people's dreams. We would like to get her to cover a few things on niche, on the niche. So welcome, Gracious. How are you? How's your Sunday?
Thanks, Patience. Thanks for having me. My Sunday is good so far, so I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we are so grateful to have for you to be just with us and honoring our invitation. We have a lot of people all over Australia on Facebook as well. We do have a few people watching as well. So please, over to you. Talk to us. Just teach us about what the things to do, the fun things, do's and don'ts about niche marketing. You are the person we've been watching. We've been looking at you for years now. So please give us those scorecards.
Thank you. Thank you for the generous introduction. So talking about niching, it's basically if you've heard the saying, I'm not sure if you've heard the saying that if everybody is your customer, then nobody is your customer. So really, when you are getting into business, into any area that you're going into, you need to find who your ideal client is. You need to find your niche market. Those are the people that are likely to buy from you, and those are the people that you need to market to. So if you don't really niche your service or your product and try to market to everyone, then nobody will be your customers. But who is that ideal client that you are targeting, and what's your niche market? So they talk about, there's a book that talks about the blue ocean and the red ocean. So what this book specifically says is, I've forgotten the title of the book. I'll try to remember it. But it talks about how the red ocean, that's where all the big guys are playing, all the big companies. That's where most of the market share is. But there is a blue ocean in some industries, or in some industries whereby there's not the big clients or the big guys are not there. It's a blue ocean in that they don't have the most of the market share, but the big guys are not playing in there. So you're most likely going to make more money if you niche your product or service in a blue ocean as compared to the red ocean, because the red ocean, that's where the big sharks are. So it's very important for us to be able to be very specific about who we are targeting. If we are in business, who are you targeting? And you would have heard this or maybe not, but you also need to describe, the persona to the last detail. Is that a single mom with 2 kids who's working, or is it a family, between the ages of 25 and 45 with 2 children? They send their kids to private school, or, they like to play golf, they shop at Kohl's, etc. So this is to the level of detail that you need to be able to understand who your ideal client is, for you to be able to market to them and to show up every single day on all the different platforms on social media or wherever you do your marketing, you need to show up to your ideal client, not to everybody, because everyone is not going to buy from you, but your ideal client, that person that you're targeting, is the person that is going to buy from you. So you need to be very specific to understand how this particular person operates, what they like, what they do, etc. I'll give an example of a guy who set up his business, for example, to target GPs, only GPs, so medical professionals, but targeting GPs. And he said these guys, the way he did his study is they were so difficult to get them online. So they're not, they don't have the time in the world to be scrolling on Facebook or on Instagram. They work long hours, most of them. But they have their conferences where they meet as GPs. They have some sessions where they do meet for golf, etc. So he started attending those events, showing up where his ideal client would be. And by then, he managed to get a lot of them on board. He managed to build trust and build rapport. And then when he then started to send emails or do email marketing, they already knew him because they were seeing him wherever they were playing, wherever they were meeting. So it's very important for you to play, compete, and win where your ideal client is. But to be able to do that, you need to understand who your ideal client is. If you try to market to everyone, you are marketing to no one. If you try and target everyone, then nobody is your customer. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, it definitely does. Now, with your business in particular, Gracious, I hope you're happy to share with us. But can you share a personal experience where you successfully identified and validated a niche market? So, what steps did you take?
So to validate a niche market, it's probably simple, but it does need you to sit down and really, work out, like I said, build a persona. You've got this particular product, for example, let's say you and I come up with a product, we are selling a soap or a beauty product of some sort. Who are we targeting? So we need to sit down, get a whiteboard if you need to, and start to describe the persona, that particular person. For example, is she married or is she single? If she's married, how many kids is she likely to have? What sort of income, even what sort of income bracket? So for example, based on the product that we're possibly looking at. So we're saying we've got a beauty product that we've come up with, you and I. This beauty product, maybe it's it's an expensive or an exclusive range. We're not going to be able to market to everyone. So we need to sit down, pull apart who is it that we want to be buying this product. For example, like I said, is it a married woman or is it a single woman? What sort of income bracket? Even what sort of professionals, age bracket? Where do they like to shop? What sort of, a taste in terms of clothing? Where would they potentially be buying some of their clothes? Where do they play? Where do they spend most of their time? So if they're going out with friends, where would they be going, etc. So we need to get to that level of detail to be able to work out what our niche is. So it's not like you can work it out, and you also need to test. So once you've written all that down, the persona, it's like you can actually give this person a name. You can actually envision what they look like, how they dress, how they talk, how they interact, where they spend their time, how many children they've got, how much money they have, and how they like to spend their money. So because you now have this person, it's easier now to identify where this person plays, because some of those people, they may not be on Facebook, but you may find them on Instagram. You may find them on TikTok if it's the younger generation, for example. And some of those people may only be on LinkedIn. So not all social media platforms are going to work for you. So once you've identified your persona, then you need to work out, where do they play? Which part of social media platform is going to be where they spend most of their time? And then once you've done that, you now need to test. So you may start by running some Facebook ads, some paid Facebook ads, to see whether you are reaching your target person or target market. And then you can always tweak each time, you test, because remember, the ads would give you some data to see, how many clicks, and it allows you to be very specific about who you are targeting. And then you study that data, and refine as you go. So I would say those would be the steps that you would take to be able to get to your ideal client.
Wow. So another question, please bear with us. We will be shooting with you with a few questions. But another question that I have here is the niche market going to change, or am I going to be selling to the same people over and over? And if it does change, is there a certain frequency to it? For instance, a cleaner, and maybe I'm cleaning to low income people, low income earners. Does it mean that I'm just going to stick to that forever and ever? It's written, or I have the possibility to make a change within my niche?
That's a very good question. So you need to be, obviously, like I said, that if you try and market to everyone, then you are marketing to no one. Or if you try to target everyone or be everybody, if everyone is your customer, then nobody is your customer. So you need to be very specific so that you don't spend your resources working on the wrong niche or on the wrong target altogether. So yes, I would say, as you refine who your ideal client is, as you refine who your target market is, you may make a few changes. But I think when you get to the final point where you are satisfied that you have narrowed down who your ideal client is, I would say spend all your energy on your resources marketing to that person who is your ideal client. Because if you try and chop and change, then you know what, before you know it, you've wasted money here, you've wasted money there, you've wasted money there. So take your time. There is no rush. Take your time to really understand that ideal client, so that by the time you then employ the resources, you are employing the resources knowing for sure that this is my target market. This is where I need to play. This is where I need to win. This is where I need to compete.
Oh, that's beautiful. So for those joining us on Facebook and on YouTube, if you have any questions, please feel free to send them through, or you can, especially those on Zoom, just raise your hand and you can ask your questions. One other question that I have is, what role does social media play in identifying and validating a niche? Like, is there that, I know you've already covered that one, but if we can be able to just, try to really get into it, what role does social media play in identifying and validating a niche?
So social media helps in the sense that, back in the day, we were walking around, putting flyers in people's letter boxes, and then you never hear from them, etc., etc. And then you never know whether you've put the flyer in someone's letterbox who is interested in your product or who is not. But remember, when you put yourself out there, when you put your product or service out there, you are having people talk back to you, whether that niche or that person you are targeting, you want to find out whether they like your product or service. And remember, you can measure that, whether may it be Google Analytics, may it be Facebook ads, you can measure how many clicks, you can measure how at the level of engagement that you're getting from the product or service that you have posted out there. You can measure, the raving fans, people who are sharing the product or service. So that will give you an idea of how people are excited about that product, or how likely people are going to buy your product or service. So social media does play a big role, in the sense that now it cuts a lot of, you don't have to be on TV to market yourself or to test your product or service. You can just go out there, put it out there, put a few dollars in, sponsor that ad, let it go out, and then the figures will tell you whether you are targeting the right person by those numbers.
Oh, that is just brilliant. We do have a question here from a Zoom user. They say, how do I know I've picked the right niche?
Yes, so if, like we said, that how do I know? The level of engagement. So remember, if people are interested with your product, they would like to share it to their friends and family. If they're interested, there's so many clicks on the product or on the service, the number of inquiries, for example, from that particular ad that you have put out, how many inquiries have you gotten? So even if they have not started to buy yet, that level of engagement at least gives you an idea that I'm on the right path here. Then you start, tweaking, making a few tweaks, flavoring your marketing a little bit, coming up with all these different other ideas. But that level of engagement is very important. It will give you an idea that you've got it right. You've got it, the niche market right.
Mm. And then I have another one here from Facebook. It says, what metrics should entrepreneurs track to assess the success of their niche strategy? So, what metrics should entrepreneurs track to assess the success of their niche strategy?
So depending on what you're using, like I said, if you're using Google, you would have some data from Google Analytics. If you're using Facebook ads, you would have data from Facebook ads. And like I said, Facebook ads would have engagements, would have clicks, number of clicks, you would have number of shares, and you would also have inquiries. So it's also important to say, okay, we did put out this product to try and target our ideal client. How many inquiries have we gotten? And it's also important when you pick up the call to say, oh, how did you hear about us? So this question is very important, because then your client will tell you that, oh, you know what, I saw your ad on Facebook, or a friend referred me. So that alone is enough. So those metrics, the number of inquiries, the level of engagement, the number of clicks, the number of shares, would be what would give you an idea, or you need to measure that. And then the data from Google Analytics, if you are on platforms like Google My Business, also Google reviews, for those that are starting to buy your product, have a look at your Google reviews. And normally your niche become your raving fans. So they're excited. These are not, so when we are talking about niching, we're not talking about people who are neither here nor there, regarding your product or service. We are talking about people who are sold out to your product or service. People, your greatest raving fans, those who would, refer their friends and family. They're not getting paid to refer, but they're still referring. And when you see people like that, getting calls in your business to say, oh, I've been referred by my friend, or I've been referred by my auntie, then you're building a tribe. You're starting to build your own tribe.
Wow, yes, building a tribe. I think I love that one. Now, Gracious, for us here with Sunday Supper Talk Live, our niche is people who are starting up. And we all know that when people are starting up, hey, the budget is tight. The budget is not playing at that point. You are everything. So, what are some low cost methods, low cost, effective, and efficient methods for testing a minimum viable product? So, we just want to learn how we can be able to be cost effective. I heard you talking about Google ads. Are those things that need to be paid for? Facebook ads and all that. How am I able to reach out to my niche without spending money that I do not have? Because a common mistake that a lot of people make out there is to immediately start spending money that they do not have, because they're trying so hard to invest in the business. Before you know it, you are so stranded, you are so disappointed, and then you close something that had a great potential of working out.
Good question. So if you have identified that your ideal client plays on Facebook, for example, try the organic reach, whereby you post something without paying first, and then when you see that it's getting momentum, then boost the post. It could be just even a $20 to boost the post, at least to get a wider reach. Unfortunately, platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, they work with algorithms, and they're always tweaking these algorithms. I remember many years ago, you'd get a lot of organic reach on Facebook. Not as much these days. They want you to pay, to get more reach. And also similarly, LinkedIn, the algorithms are still better than Facebook, but still it's people's, they're not our platforms. We're leveraging on those platforms. So start the organic way, where you post without paying, see how the post is performing. If it's performing better organically, then put in a $20 and see, how get it to reach more people. Again, and encourage all your friends to share, to share the product or service with their friends as well, and family. It won't cost them any money for them to do that, but encourage them. If you don't ask, you don't get. So I would ring you, Patience, if you're my friend, and said, look, I'm new to the market. This is my product, this is my service. I'm trying to reach as many people as I know. I know you've got a bigger following on your page. Would you mind, just sharing my post when you get a chance? So what I find is people, and most people would say yes. Like a lot of people would say yes. So always ask. I remember when I started my business, I remember I rang everyone in the industry who were successful in the industry. I just picked up the call. I found their numbers, picked up the call, and I said, look, can you give me some tips? How have you been successful in this industry? And everyone was willing to share. Everyone was so willing to share for free. I never paid any dollars, but I actually came out of that conversation well equipped to implement some of the strategies that these guys have done. So a lot of us, sometimes we shy away from asking people in the same industry, or it's pride, I don't know, that we don't want to reach out to someone who we know is successful in the same industry. I don't even get it. But to be honest, it doesn't cost you any money. And they might give you one tip that would change your business altogether.
That is so true. You know, I've come across a lot of people who say, "Oh my goodness, I did not know that you genuinely meant it when you said you are willing to give me information for free."
Mm.
So just as you've heard from Gracious, guys, it's just a matter of asking a question. It doesn't hurt anything or anybody. Go ask that question. Ask those questions that you have from those people that you feel have made it in life or are making it in life. Thank you so much, Gracious. So we would just love to know about your businesses. My goodness, you've been doing great things. We are seeing you all over the place, all over social media, giving us so many tips on your Top Tip Tuesday. So please just give us a glimpse about what you do.
Thank you. So I'm a mortgage broker. I run a mortgage broking business where we do everything: home loans, self-managed superannuation loans. We do commercial loans, personal loans, car loans, everything loans. We do it at Eagle Life. So I run that side of the business. So yes, it's exciting to be able to be in a position where we change lives by financing every dream. Our tagline is financing every dream. So it's been exciting. It's it's an exciting journey. So that's the place where we play.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I think you have another business where you're doing virtual assistants as well. Come on, share with us.
Correct. So we also have an outsourcing business, Shasha Outsourcing, where we outsource loan processors for mortgage brokers. We also outsource paralegal support, admin assistance for healthcare services, and executive assistants. So, and also we also now have a few RTOs. So they have virtual trainers. So virtual trainers for RTOs, we also have those on our books as well.
Wow, things are really happening over at Eagle Life and Shasha Outsourcing. Congratulations, Gracious, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation. So, guys, that's all we had for you today. It's just 30 minutes, but if you want some more, we will be arranging a lot of fun activities throughout the years, but this is something that we are all passionate about as business people. So thank you, and kudos to you, Gracious. More blessings upon your business. We truly, truly appreciate all the education that you give us. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and have a good night.
Thank you. So, for everybody who tuned in, thank you so much for coming on board. We love you all. We appreciate you. We do have a Facebook group. If you'd like to join it, please let me know. You can always comment either onto my Facebook or you can text me. I will send you the directions where we share all the resources about things we have discussed today. So, today's topic with Gracious was finding your niche, identifying and validating your market. So she did touch on a lot of things about how and what to do in order for us to be able to know exactly who we are selling to. Not everybody is your client. They may be looking for a service you are providing, but it does not mean that they are in particular your client. Feel free to like, share, comment. We love hearing from you. The next episode, we are running these Sunday Supper Biz Talk lives every week, Sunday, 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., just for 30 minutes, so we can be able to just go through a few pain points that we have in our businesses. Whether you are starting up, whether you are established, we want to hear what those pain points are, and we can be able to look for the right person to just go through them on our Sunday Supper Biz Talk live episodes. We would love to hear what you have to say. We would love to get those questions. We would love to engage with you and see your businesses growing. It's not just for patients, it's not just for Gracious, but it is for you as a business person or a potential business person. We want to see that growth in you. So catch us again next week, Sunday. We truly appreciate you. Continue subscribing. We will share the YouTube link as well, so that you can be able to continue revisiting everything. After this, we'll be summarizing what we've spoken about today, and we will send it onto the Facebook group where you can be able to get all the resources, the PowerPoint slides, if at all there were any throughout the weeks, and a summary of what was discussed. Truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We love you. Continue sharing this platform to other like-minded people, because here it's a safe zone where we want to hear those questions, try to solve them with you, and see how best we can be able to grow together. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.